Well, here's something to feast your little minds on. This is coming from a director too, a top director, who wants to make an R-rated Star Wars movie based around Hoth, and it would be like a horror movie. So, would I be interested in that? Yes, I think so. All right, let's check this article out. This is coming from movieweb.com, and it says an R-rated Star Wars Hoth horror movie. Doctor Strange director wants to make one. And this picture alone is very menacing. I mean, it's like the abominable snowman right there. He looks a little larger, this Wampa. Maybe they come in different sizes. I don't know if they get that big, but, we can push the limits of... We don't know that much about Hoth, so I guess it's possible. The future of Star Wars on the big screen remains largely mysterious right now. We know Disney and Lucasfilm intend to bring us something new following the conclusion of the Skywalker saga. Thank goodness. In last year's The Rise of Skywalker, blah, 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 blah. Beyond that, the floodgates seem wide open and ripe with possibility. If they want to do something really different, Scott Derrickson has an idea. Make an R-rated Star Wars horror movie. I think it's Scott Derrickson. I think I said Dickerson, so Scott Derrickson, best known as the director for Doctor Strange, was recently asked what kind of Star Wars movie he would make given the chance. Derrickson, before making his trip to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, directed horror movies such as Sinister and The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which I saw, and that movie freaked me the heck out. It's a scary movie. If you want to see something freaky, The Exorcism of Emily Rose is pretty freaking... It's pretty nuts. Taking to Twitter, in a since-deleted twist, Derrickson explained that he would like to exercise his horror chops in a galaxy far, far away. Here's what he had to say about it. Just asked what kind of Star Wars movie I would make. I answered that I would make Hoth an R-rated frozen planet horror film in the vein of The Thing or Lovecraft's In the Mountains of Madness, with zero connection to any previous characters or storylines. I think that is a brilliant idea to do something like that. Something like The Thing would be a great idea. You could have a movie like almost like that movie that just came out where they had to be, I forget the name of it, where they had to be silent, no one could make any noise or the monsters come to get you. Something like that kind of thing where it's just a family or something trying to travel through Hoth somehow or get stranded on Hoth would probably be a good idea. Their ship crashes, they're stuck on Hoth, and they have to try to make their way, survive somehow. Obviously, there's all kind of obstacles. You've got Hoth itself, which is a frozen, planet. So just trying to survive the night. Luke almost didn't make it. Han, had it not been for Han, he probably would not have made it. But, a lot of possibilities there. Okay, let's go on. This is, to say the very least, quite unlike anything we've seen from the franchise before. We know that Lucasfilm was going to move away from familiar characters in the future, with abundant rumors that the Old Republic will be explored, or I guess the High Republic, in the next trilogy of movies. But something this different, is that even possible? It feels terribly unlikely, though perhaps not impossible, with one big caveat. Star Wars was always something aimed at younger viewers. We've heard this before. Kids. It's Star Wars for kids. That everyone can enjoy. So the idea of making something R-rated, potentially with a lot of blood and gruesome imagery, feels like it might be getting away from what the core of the franchise has historically been. I will say the sequel trilogy got away from what the core of the franchise has historically been. So they've already done away with the historical significance of what Star Wars stood for. That said, if something like this could be toned down, there's no reason to think a standalone horror movie on Hoth with a more hard-edged PG-13 tone could work. But that's not what Derrickson wants to do, and I agree with him. Don't do it halfway. Go for the full Monty, as they say. The filmmaker stepped aside as director of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness due to creative differences. With that, it's unlikely that Derrickson would want to step into a franchise that has had plenty of issues with directors in recent years behind the scenes. Yeah, that is an understatement. They have clearly had a lot of issues with directors. Josh Trank parted ways with his planned Boba Fett movie. Phil Lord and Chris Miller were fired from Solo. Colin Trevorrow left Star Wars 9 long before it was Rise of Skywalker. They also had to bring Terry Gilliam in to help finish Rogue One. There's been quite a lot of issues here. And then, not to mention the Obi-Wan debacle that's we're seeing come, right before our eyes fall apart. There is a pattern, obviously, with directorial problems. Plus, Scott Derrickson has his hands full at the moment. He recently signed on to direct Bermuda, starring Chris Evans, as well as his mysterious Joe Hill adaptation that is in the works. Still, this sounds like something that a large portion of the Star Wars fans would probably love to see. One can dream. So, yeah, that's the article. So, what do you guys think of this? Would you be interested in a Star Wars horror movie? A kind of monster creature type film? It would be totally different for Star Wars. But hey, I mean, they've gone so far away from what Star Wars is anyway. Might as well try something like this. I mean, this is at least taking a risk. Disney would never do it, of course. They would never do an R-rated movie. Oh my goodness, forget it. Not going to happen. They would water it down to be PG-13 at best. Be like a Goosebumps type film. It wouldn't be as cool as it could be. Hey, maybe it's time for Disney to sell Star Wars to a different studio. Sell it back to George. George wouldn't do anything like that either. But it is fun to think about. And you have a top director, a big name director, saying that he would actually want to do a movie. There's a lot of possibilities too. You could have the first Scouts. It could take place. Although I guess he wants to keep it away from the original trilogy. But you could have the first Scouts sent out when they're trying to find the hidden base. They're trying to locate a planet to hide from the Empire. This would take place before Empire Strikes Back, and you could have like the first team of scouts that are sent to Hoth to try to find an area that would work, for a hidden base. And of course, they come across a Wampa that's tracking them, and that would be pretty fun to see. Just taking them out one by one. Almost like The Gray. That movie comes to mind too with Liam Neeson. He's, it's a group of guys that are stuck out in the wilderness. I think a plane crashes, and they're hunted by wolves. And there is one large wolf, the leader of the pack, who Liam Neeson has to fight at the end of the movie. Be something like that. That would be a very cool, very similar kind of tone. Oh man, that would be fun. Or you could have a story where maybe it's years and years in the future, and relic hunters are trying to find relics of the Galactic Empire and the Galactic War, the rebellion, and they head to Hoth to try to find the remnants of the hidden rebel base, and of course come across Wampas and do the same thing. A lot of possibilities there. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be interesting, and I kind of like horror movies anyway. Classic ones, at least, kind of monster movies. Always seem to be a good time if they're done right. Which, I don't think Disney would do. So, but let me know if you think this would be a good idea. Would it be something you'd be interested in? Please let me know in the comments down below. And thank you for watching the video. Give it a thumbs up and share it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. I'm talking, we do Star Wars videos, and try to do a little bit of everything, mostly Star Wars, but just pop culture, nerd culture in general, sci-fi stuff. If you like that kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, lock the doors and hope they don't have blasters.